this brand of tea. There's like a few brands of tea that when you get them and you look at the little tab, it has these quotes on them from different authors and poets. Every time I get my little tea bag, I check for the quote. And one of them is the quote, "The plants can transform your limited vision." And I love that because I love to be outside. I love to be in nature. I love to be immersed in beautiful places. Places that make things make sense in an inarticulable way. And I find myself in these places where I sit and I say to myself, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to wherever I just came from. I want to stay here. I love it here. I find myself in a space where there's so much clarity. Although it is not in relationship to my vision or my goals in the way that I might expect it to be, right? So when you're building something, when you're creating something, I think it requires a certain level of practicality. And when I'm in these spaces, these natural spaces, waterfalls, hikes, mountains, things of that nature, I reflect in a more expansive way. And although it doesn't seem directly linked to my more worldly endeavors, it is. It absolutely is. This reminds me of control. So when you have an idea or a vision, you want it to go a certain way. Like you see it in your mind, you see it in your visuals, or ideas come to you as you go about your day, and you like it. You like the ideas that come to you, or you witness examples of how you might like it and say, yeah, well, I like that for me. I want that for me, right? And you strive for that. If you're an ambitious person, if you're somebody who you know what you want and you go get it, you strive for that. You go forth and you get that. So there's a certain level of attachment that comes with that, though, if you don't keep it in check, or perhaps not, depending on the type of person that you are and like what your practice is. But I know from my own experience, there's been many instances where I've wanted to have control. I've wanted things to go my way in the way I saw it, and I would grasp onto it so as to have to myself take the highway. I was demanding my way or the highway, and then my ass was pulling onto the highway, driving away from my own way. Because when you follow the laws of the universe, that's what you must do. That's what you must do. You must listen, and you must move accordingly to what is being prompted naturally. And it can be very uncomfortable. And there's consequences when you don't listen. What do they say? We could do this the easy way, we could do this the hard way. When you have this resistance and you insist on things going your way when you are being very clearly prompted to move in another direction, to let go and to allow for things to work themselves out. And you don't. But you remain persistent in the endeavor of whatever it is that you're going for, your vision, right? You may find yourself in a position where you face things that perhaps you could have faced in a more harmonious way, and a way that would have allowed for more freedom. You know, you ever hear people's stories of like, oh yeah, I got into this car accident, or I got into this like tragic event, and it made me realize like the value of life. We don't have to go through tragedies in order to learn our lessons. And more often than not, our lesson can be found within the discipline. And a part of that discipline is listening to the prompting, be it that you're even aware on a level where you could be aware of what that prompting is. But I believe that everybody has a certain ability to hear their own inner guidance, especially the people who are watching this video. It's okay to let go, to lose control. The control that you seek to have is not actual control. When you can control yourself in that you're allowing for something to be what it is, even though it doesn't look the way that you want it to look, even though it may not appear exactly how you had envisioned it, the plants can transform your limited vision. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I also believe that this can be a major contributing factor to imbalances within the mind that very well can transform into this state of depression, whether it's short term or long term. So be mindful of that and know that it might be scary. It might induce a form of anxiety depending on where you're coming from. If you're coming from a position where you yourself were controlled constantly, you yourself were programmed to believe that if you didn't have a certain level of control, that there would be absolute chaos, that there would be absolute disaster. And even if you operate well within chaotic environments, even if you are somebody who can problem solve easily, when something is programmed subconsciously, when something is embedded within your neural network, you might work these things out in other ways. You might allow these things to manifest in your reality by other means that aren't necessarily the way you yourself problem solve. So be mindful of the ways in which your inability to let go, to trust, to have faith, may be creating imbalance in certain aspects of your life. So check every area of your life, right? Be mindful of every area in this respect. and be open to having fun, to enjoying that process. Shifting the mindset from, oh no, I don't have control. I don't know how this is going to happen. What if all these terrible things, what if they don't go that bad? Don't be afraid to be in the face of adversity, to be in the face of that which you clearly don't like or don't respect or no longer wish to experience. To be able to be the neutral observer, to be able to observe that which you're experiencing that is not preferred, and to know that as you focus your attention inwardly or outwardly to things that are more conducive to expansion, to growth, that all that stuff that you thought you could manipulate, that you thought you could do this in all those ways, you have no idea the magnitude of blessings. You have no idea. When you let go, you have a lot more in store for you. Your vision is transformed truly, wholeheartedly, and everybody benefits. There's nothing to lose and everything to gain.